Hi, everybody, and welcome to today's session. I see that we still have a few people joining, so we'll wait for everyone to be here before we get started. In the meantime, feel free to let us know in the com, and I will also open up our poll, so feel free to vote in that as well. Amazing. We have Ole from Norway. That's great. Where else are people joining from? Netherlands. Amazing. South Africa. Martin as well from the Netherlands, Germany. Wow. LA. We have a lot of people joining today. That's amazing. Texas, New York. Great. So we have a nice wide variety of participants. Italy, Puerto Rico, Utah. Amazing. San Diego, Chile. Wow. Amazing. While you guys are joining, feel free as well to answer the poll that I've put up. You should be able to see that as well. And we'll just wait a couple more minutes. I see the numbers are going up, so I just want to make sure everyone is here before we get started. Wow, we have Spain, Atlanta, Texas, Michigan. Amazing. We'll just get started in a minute. Let's see. Charleston, Massachusetts. Wow, guys, very happy to have all of you with us today. I'm curious as well. You guys can also write in the chat. How did you hear about this webinar and sign up? Did you hear about it through our marketing? Are you a regular with our AI Masterclass series? Tell us how you found out about this webinar. I'm just curious. So nice to have so many people from all over. Atera email, amazing. Good job, marketing team. Oh, we see Robin's a regular. Good to have you back with us, Robin. Amazing. Oh, Daniel saw it on the CSM email signature. Amazing. Really good to know. And someone gave Gareth a shout out. Good job, Andrew. We love that. Okay, we'll just wait a couple more minutes because I see the numbers are still going up and I want to make sure everyone's here before we get started. And also answer the poll. I see actually quite a few of you have tried our AI features already, which is awesome. Feel free to let me know what you've tried, what you think of them. We'll keep all of this in the chat. Any questions, which I'll mention a little bit later on as well. Any questions we'll put in the Q&A. So any of the fun interactions we have, put in the chat, let us know. Feel free to use emojis. We have them in here as well. Yep, and we'll just get started in a minute or two. I see people are still joining, so that's great. Next time I'm going to actually get some music. Usually we can start pretty early, but we have some people joining today and I want to make sure everyone's here. But next time, if you guys have any requests for music that you want, feel free to let me know and we'll set that up. Okay, I think we can get started. I just want to be respectful of all of your time. I know you all have super busy schedules and you've carved out some time to be here today. So we'll just get started. So hi, everybody. A big welcome to all of you who are joining us, some for the first time, some we have some series regulars. So for those who don't know me, my name is Meira. I'm part of the customer success team here at Atera. And for those who do know me, welcome back. On our session today, we have a full house. So we have my wonderful co-host who's an Atera VIP. We have Avi Asulun, who's our own head of IT joining us. So we're in good company. We also have Gareth and Paz, my colleagues from the CS team, who are going to be doing any of the Q&A answering any of your questions. Just as a reminder, guys, if you do have any questions, put them in the Q&A. You should be able to see that on the platform. I just want to make sure we keep all the questions in one place, that we can get it answered for you, that we don't lose anyone's questions down the road. Feel free to send us any questions you have. And any of the fun interactions, put them in the chat. We love speaking to you guys. We love interacting. So definitely keep those up there. I think, wow, the numbers are still going up. So in a minute or so, we'll get started. But like I said, just if you have any questions, please feel free to add those to the Q&A section. Okay, I think actually we can, even if the numbers are going up, we can get started. I'm going to share my screen and just move this over. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, you guys can tell me if you can see my screen. It should be working right about now. I think it is. Yep. We good? Thumbs up. Amazing. Can everyone see it? Perfect. Great. So again, hi everyone, and welcome to our AIT Masterclass. So for those who have been here before, you know that this is a regular series that we do. Today's one is specifically on scripting. We actually did have a lot of requests about this, so we wanted to take all of our, let's say, resources and focus it specifically for this month on scripting. So welcome. All of you are here specifically for that, which is great. Shows really how big the need was. Just as a reminder for those who are joining now, my name is Meira. I'm part of the customer success team, and I'm your host for these AIT Masterclass series. And today we have a special guest. We have Avi, who's our own head of IT, who's joining us. And we also have Gareth and Paz, who will be doing all of the Q&A for you if you have any questions. So what can you expect on today's webinar? So what's coming up? We have a series intro. We have some prompt strategy just for AI scripting in general. We have some specific use cases that we've chosen for you. We have our takeaways and of course Q&A at the end if there's any we want to cover. So for those who are regular to our AI Masterclass series, you know that we usually have a two-part series. We have the AIT Masterclass intro, and then we also have the hands-on workshop. As I mentioned, we did have a significant demand and request to do a solo session specifically on scripting. So that's what we're doing for this month today. But going forward, the scripting will be blended into our hands-on workshop in the future. So don't worry, it's all going to go back to normal, and we'll still continue with scripting within the workshop itself. So I'm just going to stop for a minute and take a look or a bird's eye view at Atera as an all-in-one AI-powered IT platform. As you guys know, within our AI functionality, we have the autopilot and the copilot. The autopilot is more end-user focused or end-user facing, and the copilot is more of a technician-assisted mechanism. Of course, we support Windows, Linux, and Mac. And we have different pillars, of course, that we work on. We have our RMM, remote monitoring and management. We have our help desk and ticketing, our network monitoring, the BI and analytics, and of course, our amazing App Center. We are hosted, or our AI is hosted on Microsoft Azure. We're an enterprise-grade platform. We have all of our latest security and compliance updates. We just got our SOC 2 certification. So if any of you need that, feel free to contact our support team. They'll be able to guide you in the right direction. And of course, data analysis. Okay, just opening one other slide here. Okay, so today, we also wanted to just take a minute and look at the prompting strategy in general, right? And how to talk to AI. So this is more just some guidelines that we feel were necessary or we wanted to share with you guys. How to talk to AI in general, not specifically just to Atera's AI script generator. This is to help, let's say, those of you who have never used AI scripting before and those who want to brush up on your AI prompting or your AI scripting knowledge and strategies. So we've divided them into three different pillars. The first one is to be clear and specific. So of course, as you can expect, the more clear and specific you are, the better the AI will be able to provide a result for you. So the more details you're able to give it and the more specifics you can, the better your output will be. So again, of course, the input really determines the output here. Length and context. So I know a lot of people like to find value maybe in writing quite short prompts for AI. And of course, that's great and that definitely works. But you don't have to be shy to hide any details or really try and condense the length of your AI prompting. It's all good, and the more that you're able to give in terms of information to the AI system, the better the context it will have, and the better it will be able to give you an answer. So don't be afraid of adding as much information as you want to the AI prompt. And lastly, time to think. So it's okay to let the AI have some time to think in order to produce the best outcome. For example, if I had to take a question to a person, we would, like a complex question, we will want the person to be able to think about the answer and then give us the best answer possible, and not just, shout the first thing that pops into their head. The same with the AI. And of course, the AI is saving time, but we still want it to think about all the input that we've given us or that we've given it, and give the best possible outcome and the best possible output that we can possibly have, with the time to think. Of course, it's all relative. We don't expect, if let's say from a human, we don't expect to get an answer within 1 minute, and nor do we expect that from the AI as well. We want to let it have time to think so it can give us the best answer. And something I would just maybe want to add here as well is that, remember, the saving, let's say in terms of using AI or using AI scripting, is really twofold. One being that you're giving the AI a complex problem or complex, let's say, script that you want it to write for you, and it's doing that, taking, let's say, the complex problem away from you and giving you an answer. And also it's saving you on time, because regardless, even if it takes maybe up to 3 minutes or whatever the case is, it's still going to be shorter than having a human doing it for you. So the saving on time and complexity is always twofold and always much faster. So today we're going to be covering 4 top scenarios that Avi and I have chosen together, and we think these will be valuable for you guys. Some of them are a lot more common than others, but we feel like you'll probably be using these on a daily basis, and we think that they'd be interesting specifically for today's webinar. For the sake of flow and ease and smoothness of the webinar, we've pre-recorded them, but we show you all the steps that you would take within Atera and also outside of Atera and PowerShell. So everything is going to be shown, everything can be tracked. So yeah, I think we can get started. Before we do so, any questions from the audience? Anything else in the chat that I should just see? Nope, think we're good to go. Amazing. So the first example that we've chosen is to create a local admin user. And the use case here is something that I want to say maybe you're all probably pretty familiar with. I'm sure Avi's had this a couple of times, where a user gets locked out of their laptop, and for whatever reason, the IT department doesn't have an MDM solution that can unlock it, and the computer isn't compliant with MDM profiles and such. So we're going to generate a script specifically for this. So as you can see here, we go into Atera script generator. We ask it to create a local admin user. We get the script. And you can see here the script was pretty simple. It's a pretty common use case. And of course, what makes it really valuable here is that now the IT department has created a script that they can just simply run, and the user can access their computer. So there's none of this like back and forth. They can easily just create the script and deploy it. So the next one, I'm actually going to hand over to Avi to do our Chrome installation and update. Avi, let me know when you can take it from here.
Hey everyone, thank you, Meira. As Meira mentioned, I'm Avi, the head of IT in Atera for the last year. Today I want to share some scripts that we commonly use in our IT department. I also want to add it's very common use scripts because we wanted to show you like easy steps to overcome issues that might be missing. You might be missing some tools to solve. One of the common issues we often encounter is when a bad version of an app is deployed. It could be Chrome, Zoom, Slack, or any other application. This can happen due to user installed some bad version or user auto updates. And as we all know, Google sometimes release Google Chrome with the bugs. Or you can be even a corrupted file in the installation, and we just want to solve it. We solve it with an ease. So what can we do to address this problem? We can just write a script. We have found that deploying a script via Terra is a great solution. However, some of us don't know how to write scripts. Some of us scripting is time consuming. And each script has its own variables and own issues, and it's a lot of time consumed. So today I would like to demonstrate an easy way to deploy or redeploy Google Chrome using a script generator. With just a few simple steps, you can generate a script to install Google Chrome and ensure that it stays up to date automatically. I want to emphasize that while we focus on commonly used scripts, our script generator can handle more complex scripts for specific needs as well. This is the most common uses. Now let's take a look at the process. Mira, if you will. What we see here, I'm going to create a script. I'm going to put a prompt, create Chrome installation. Now I'm running it. It created me a script. In this use case, I will show you all the flow that in Terra. So I just created a script. Now I ask Terra to run it on a device. I'm going to press it, run script. I'm going to just run it. As you see, as you can see, it's running it. I will get a prompt in a second that says if the script succeeded. As you can see, it succeeded. And I didn't went to PowerShell like the last example to check it. I simply did everything via Terra, and it's worked smoothly. An interesting troubleshooting scenario will be to take it and create reinstallation profile, like reinstallation script. I'm sorry. And all you need to do is to change the prompt. You tell the AI generator to delete the script, to delete Chrome and reinstall it, and then you can just deploy it via Terra again. Mira, back to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Avi. Okay, on to the next example. Script proofing, and we're going to be using this via a Slack installation. So I'm not sure how many of you guys know, and feel free to write this in the chat, but you can use our AI script generator to actually proofread your script. This was something Avi showed me recently, and I've been really excited about it ever since. So there's a chance that some of you guys don't know about it as well. So we're going to show you how to do that as well right now. This can be like a need for this. I mean, you guys can think of many, but it could be that the IT team wants to check a script before they're actually going to run it. You can use this for existing scripts that you can just proofread them. You can create a new script and proofread it as well. It really is. There's so many things you can do with it. But like I said, in this specific example, we're going to be looking at a Slack installation example. So I'm going to share that script with you right over here. So we're going to create a script, or we're going to create a script here within the script generator, and we're asking the script generator to install Slack from a specific website. We're going to generate the script, and we're going to put it into PowerShell and to actually check it. And we can see that there's an error that's come out here. So we're going to put that into the script generator and have that be, let's say, corrected or proofread and re-edited. It's going to take a little bit of time here writing this request because we are downloading some heavy software. So we know it's going to take a couple more minutes, a couple more seconds, I should say. And while this is downloading, feel free to let me know in the chat if you guys knew about this. I wonder how many of you actually knew that you could do this beforehand. Amazing. So now it's been fixed and we're able to install Slack. Of course, I'm sure you guys can all see the value here. Not only in our script generator do you have the ability to create scripts from scratch, but also existing scripts that you want to check or script proofread, you can do that as well. So there's multiple ways to do it, which is great. The next example we have here is a screensaver deployment. So I'm not sure how many of you guys do this on a regular basis, but whether you're an ITD or an MSP, maybe you want to announce a promotion of some kind of new service within the company. If you're an ITD, maybe there's a need from HR or cyber or IT to share some new message with everyone. And think of this as kind of like a creative way to share a new message or an update within the company globally. So what we're going to do here is create a screensaver and have that deployed to an end user. Again, we're going to do this via a script. So we're going to ask the script generator to create a script by downloading a specific file and then making it a screensaver. You can see here the script that we've gotten. Okay, so this one actually came as a specific use case from us. Recently, our HR requested that all of our screensavers be changed to reflect our new ranking in Dunn's top 100. So again, really the value here can be for MSPs or for ITDs, whether you need to update everyone internally on a new company policy, an announcement, or if you have maybe a new vendor you're working with or updated security policies, you have all of this available to you. So a really good creative way to update everyone with the message. Before we move on, Avi, is there anything you wanted to add to this specific example?
Yes, there's a remark I want to make. While here we showed you, we deployed the screensaver file, the SRV. We deployed it via a repository. We uploaded it to somewhere and just created a link. In Atera, you can actually push the file, the SRV file itself. Atera, I think it's the only platform I know that can push a file to the end user laptop or computer. So that's another side note I wanted to make. It's an important fact. And that's it, Mira. Back to you.
Thanks, Avi. I wanted to also just say thanks for sharing that. Of course, obviously, you guys being on this webinar, you get firsthand inside updates from Avi himself, which is amazing. So that's really great. Also, I'm just having a look in the chat as well, and I see a lot of you had no idea you could do this. I actually saw an amazing comment in here that said, Daniel wrote some of your scripts fail silently and you don't know why. And someone else wrote, this has stopped me using script generators because I'm not aware that I can actually self-correct them or have the script proofread. But now I'm really happy to let you guys know that you can. So hopefully that was super helpful. Just some takeaways, at least from our scripting session right now, and then maybe we'll do some Q&A afterwards. Just from today's session, some AIT takeaways. So of course, we're showing you our AIT script generator, which saves you both time as well as reduces complexity for you and your team. Again, you just give an input into the script generator and it's able to let's say, take something complex and make it a script that you can immediately run. Of course, multifunctional, as we just showed you, it's not only a script generator, but it's also a script proofreader. So you can take scripts that you already have, existing scripts within your script library, and run them through the script generator and check them for any errors or mistakes. There's 360-degree value here. So it goes cross-organizational and cross-end user impact, whether that's updating screensavers, another creative way to share a message internally, or being able to run scripts that you weren't able to before for your end users, creating them admin profiles or whatever you need. You have all these tools and availability at your fingertips here. And lastly, everyone at Atera knows Avi's mantra, which is, if you know how to script, the script generator is a time saver, and if not, it's a lifesaver. So I think probably all of you on this session can agree with that. And again, just for the future and where we're really looking towards going this year is we're taking AIT to the next level within Atera, and we're so happy you guys are on the journey with us. I think we'll move to Q&A for the meantime. I saw some questions coming in the Q&A, and I just want to see if there's any that we can answer on live. Let's see if there's any. We have a question about, is this call being recorded? Yes, it's being recorded and it will be made available on our website. I'm not sure exactly when, but probably in the next couple of days at most. Also, any of you who signed up should get a link to that. Let's see. We have here, I did not know you could paste errors on the AI script tool to fix original scripts. So I really hope that was helpful. Seems like a lot of you guys didn't know that, which is great to share. Are the scripts valid for operating any system or just Windows? Avi, I'll get your backup here, but I believe that they are available for Windows and Mac as well.
Windows and Mac as well. Sorry, and you just change the format to shell scripts instead of PowerShell, and you also have CMD, so BAT, so you can you can run them in a couple of formats. But of course, we have shell scripting for Macs.
Absolutely. Sorry, I'm just changing this to see which ones haven't been answered. Okay, so Daniel has an interesting question. How do you prevent your AI provider to learn from my scripts? What is the legal background? So Daniel, that's a great question. Currently, our AI model is in a closed model, so it's actually not learning from your own data or not sharing your data with anyone else. We work closely with the Microsoft team and we give the AI, let's say, different prompts and tools and guidelines to learn and work from, but we're not sharing your data. Let's say it's not learning currently from yourselves within your account or from other users. So we're protecting your data at all forms, and that's really important to us. Okay, let me just see if there's any other questions that we think we can answer live. Okay, Avi, may I ask you to help with this one? Raymond has a good question. Can I use the scripting to check the version of the software to see if it needs to run the installer, I think is what he's trying to say.
You can create a script to check the version of the software you're running, and you also can just tell it to update. And it's easier. Yep. It's easier to deploy. It's a lot easier to write. The script will be simpler, and then it will cause less issues. As long the script is longer, you have more parameters that can fail. So you want to run as simple script as you can, and simply you want to update every workstation you have on Aptera, tell it to update, I think.
Yep. Amazing. Elliot also has a great question. Can you block users from changing the background with the same script?
It's a different script, but you can. Like you can make it a default. But you need to mess with the permissions of the end user. Like if the end user is a local admin and you don't have permissions segregation inside of that machine, it won't be possible, because then he can find a command online and simply overcome it. But essentially you can. It all depends on the permissions you give the end stations.
Amazing. Okay, so I'll be some more questions if you're able to help me. We have a VIP over here. Can we generate a script to set a Mac admin password?
To set? What do you mean by a Mac admin password?
Yeah, Tim, maybe if you can add this, I assume maybe like a Mac admin, like just a Mac admin user, but maybe Tim, if you don't mind sharing in the Q&A on the chat. Yeah.
If it's a Mac admin, again, it's a matter of permissions. Like if you just try to run a script via Atera, and the user again has an admin, so he actually controls the computer. But if the computer is, let's say, unlocked, you can. Essentially, you can, but it's a matter of permissions and how the device itself is configured. Like if you have an MDM over there, like if you have something that's in the hierarchy of users is above the admin user. So yeah.
Great. Yeah, so Tim says it is Mac admin user. So great. I think that's answered. Asaf had a good question over here. Can you run scripts on SNMP devices like a scan for OIDs? So we actually have an OID generator, and I'd be happy to show you that on another session. Asaf, if you want to email me, me'era@atera.com, I'd be happy to set that up and show you. But yes, we have an amazing OID generator as well. So we have you all covered. This session specifically was for scripting, but we do have a lot of functionality across the board within an AI. Okay, let's see. Let's see which other questions we want to answer here. Can you generate a script based on the content of a ticket to solve the end user issue directly? Let me just think about this one. Can you generate a script?
It's a very
I mean, I think,
general script.
yeah. Yeah.
Like you can use the autopilot, but it's like
Yeah.
for a script. Or what is the issue of the user? That's like a script. Like Meir said, I'm saying like you can use a script to solve almost any issues you have on the end user the station, but you need to know what the problem is. The script is good as your prompt. Then that's
Exactly.
the idea.
And I think also I'll just add to that if you guys have tested out the AI functionalities within the Copilot, you can have, let's say, on a ticket, you have an option to summarize and solve. Then if a script is needed, there is a flow where a script, like a recommendation to, let's say, create a script is part of that flow, and you would take you immediately to the script generator, have it automatically created. So if it's obviously a specific need for it, then it does flow within our AI process already. So I hope that answers your question. I think that's probably what you were looking for. Hold on, I'm just closing up some of these that were already answered. Someone's asking about the different kinds of files you can generate. So we do have multiple files you can generate within Atera for the type of script. So I'm going to answer that as yes. Let's see. Is there suggestions for when scripts that work for Windows 10 but fail for Windows 11? Is there a suggestion for when let me just read this right. Barry, I think your question is meaning, is there suggestions for when scripts are running or working for Windows 10 but are not working for Windows 11? I can check with Avi on this, but I assume it would obviously also be the nature on the script, what you're trying to do. It feels like a bit of a broad question, but maybe Avi can answer a bit better on that one.
Basically, both should run as expected. Like if it ran on Windows 10, it should run on Windows 11. But it's very specifically the script itself. Like if it's failed, it might be. I'm trying to think there's no change in the partial version of Windows 10 and Windows 11, so there's no reason to. So it will fail in one, but you can ask the generator, the AI generator for the script,
Yep.
and show him the error, and it will fix it for you. It should be. That's how it should
exactly.
work.
And now also that you've seen how you can fix scripts or proofread scripts through our AI generator, feel free to use that and let us know. Let me just see any of these other questions here. If there's anything else. Okay, we have quite a few. I'm going to try and answer as many of them as I can. Hold on, we answered this one. Okay, while deploying an MSI using a PowerShell script run through Atera, if I try to use the system environment variables, the script isn't able to use them unless I'm logged into the machine. Is this something that will be improved, or is this just not possible? I'm not sure about this one. Avi, let me know if you have any inside info into that one. And if not, we will definitely check as well with our team.
I'll need to check it because MSI, as you said, you should be able to run MSI via PowerShell with a variable, so it should work for you. But skipping the enable to use them. That's an interesting question. I need to check.
Really
Like
interesting question.
I'm deploying MSI with scripts like all the time. The correct way to deploy the software is not with an exe file, but MSI file, and so that's like the correct way. But I'll need to check like this specific issue.
Okay, I'm taking a note of this question. Jeroen, I don't want to butcher your name, as we all know mine's difficult to say, but I will take a note of this and I will get back to you on that. Let's see. Okay. Is there a way to create or access logs of script execution summaries? Going to check this for you right now. Okay, while we're looking up this one, I want to actually answer Mark's question. So Mark says, high level question, what is the next step in using AI to help run an MSP business? Will there be the ability for the AI to look at data collected in Atera to come up with recommendations and remedies? So this is a great question. So of course, as you know, we're Atera spread out across many, many countries. I think at least over 23 no, maybe sorry, over 106 countries, and we have about 23,000 plus customers, and of course, roughly around like a million devices because of that. So we've had a lot of, let's say, information on the kinds of tickets that come up so much for different MSPs and ITDs, and the kind of answers and responses that give them the best solutions for their end users or for their customers. So we've had a lot of data to work with, not necessarily, let's say, sharing the data like openly, but just kind of looking at the different tickets and use cases and issues that come up. And because of that, we've really instructed the AI to work the way we want it to. But that being said, it's constantly in development. We're always looking for ways to improve it and refine it. And like I mentioned earlier, we work really closely with Microsoft. We get a lot of early access to the OpenAI, the different, let's say, levels, and we get to sit down with them a lot and really plan and develop it further. So that's how we're using the data right now. If in the future it's going to be able to look at data collected in Atera and come up with recommendations and remedies, I mean, in the future, some things we're looking at doing is being able for you guys to be able to create internal KBs from a ticket. So if you know, let's say you've had a resolution with a ticket, and you want to have that created as a KB that your end users could use or that the AI could leverage, that's something that we're working on. But in terms of let's say sharing the data internally. I don't know if we're going to be doing that just yet. I'll need to take that up with the team, but I hope that gives you a good answer for that, Mark. Let's see. Okay, we actually have quite a bit more questions. Let's see here. Okay, can default templates be generated with a script for the installation of apps necessary for a work group? Viken, do you have any insight on this one for me? You know what I can do? I can actually share some of them like this. Even better.
What do you mean? Like, I need a little bit more explanation. Can default templates be generated with scripts for the installation of apps? Do you mean? Okay, you mean for like deployment packages? It's a good question. I don't think it's possible yet. To put it say yet, you can't like create a script to write a lot to create one script that deploy a lot of software. And even if you could, it will probably have a lot of issues. Like the moment one of the software gets updated or something like that, or any of the variables, the small change in the variables will simply ruin it for you. So actually that issue it's not script compatible, if I may say.
Perfect. Let me close that one. Okay, just going through the questions over here. Let's see. Okay, Joran, you have an example. Feel free to send it to me. I'll get back to you in a sec. I just want to see if there's any other questions here we can answer. Is it possible? Let's see this one. Can we share this? So Avi, we're going to need your help here. If it's shared, is it possible to terminate a script that was started through Atera?
Not that I know, but it's important to know that all scripts try to run 3 times. Like if it fails 3 times, then it stops. So the moment you run, there's no like a button cancel deployment or something. But it only tries 3 times and then it cancels itself if it failed or if it succeeded even. But that's it.
Great. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Okay, let's show Daniel's question. Are you thinking about an interactive terminal shell and device where I can run the scripts in steps interactively? I'm not sure I have the answer to this. I don't know if Avi does, but otherwise we can also double check with our team who works on all the behind the scenes and get back to you on an answer for this. Yep, perfect.
Yeah, I
We
don't
will
have
get
the
back
answer.
to you, Daniel. This is great that you think we can answer, but this is a question for our dev team, so I will check with them. I have all of your questions saved, so we'll be able to get you answers. Let's see what else. Okay, let's see another question from Mitch. Okay, we use a lot of variables in scripts. We often have variables with a 0/1 to toggle an option in the script. Is this the best way to do this, or is there a better way to allow toggling and selecting options at runtime? Avi, do you have any answers for this for us, or should we take this one offline with our team? What do you think?
I'm trying to figure it out. Wait, we have a lot of. The question, Mitch, if you what do you mean? Like, well, I might need to go offline for it, but and check and get back to you. But if you mean simply that you have a lot that you use scripts with a lot of variables and you want to make them and you want to edit them, yeah, it will be a lot easier to edit them via the AI. But if you mean something else, I need to check. Like most perimeters, if you want to take an existing script and change the perimeters, you can definitely do it with AI with an easy prompt. Just take the prompt, pass the script, ask the AI, hey, I want to change blue to red or whatever. I don't know, like any variables. I want to move this file to that folder or anything like that, and it will do it for you. Like you can edit scripts with the AI, but if you meant something else, I'm sorry, I'll need to check.
Perfect. Great. In the meantime, while we're going through questions, I just want to quickly launch the survey. Hold on. This is our way of knowing what you guys want to see on these webinars going forward and really get your feedback. The reason we did this scripting webinar as like the all-inclusive AIT masterclass series for this month was because of feedback that we got from you guys, that this is what you wanted to see. And we've had such great engagement and a lot of you showing up. So that really does help us understand that this is something interesting for you guys. So if you don't mind, while we're just answering questions, just take a minute or two just to answer the survey. Like I said, it really gives us feedback into what you guys want to see and what's valuable to you. And we can make sure to tailor these webinars for your wants and needs going forward. So I think you guys should see it. If I'm not mistaken, let me know if you can't see it in the chat. But if you can, I would be so grateful if you guys could just take a couple of minutes. We're all going to be on here together. So why not while we're still answering some questions? I'm also going to look in the chat if there was anything I missed. I see actually Daniel gave Mitch a good suggestion in the chat. So Mitch, if you're still online and you see this, Daniel gave you some great suggestion regarding the language of allowing true or false. Okay, maybe Avi, if you can also help us with this question. I think it's quite an interesting one. So Joe says, I like the scripting in AI, but I have a reservation that I would like to run past the group. How do you prove that the script is actually doing the right thing? In other words, scripts must be modified based on environmental variables, and how do you deal with those variations? Interesting question. I mean, just from my own thoughts, I mean, you obviously can double check your script with our script generator. You can proofread it, but I'm sure Avi has a better, more technical answer than I do.
No, it's actually kind of the same. Like if you have like environmental variables, you used to you yourself works in the same environment. If I'm guessing it right, so you simply use the AI generator to fix it once and it will fix it again. Again, scripting is an amazing solution for specific issues.
Mm-hmm.
If you want for mass deployment, you can use it to install like a software. You can use it to do simple things. Unless the issues with that is again the more variables you have, it will fail. The more options it has to fail. So like it depends on how many environments you have, how many users you have. What is the difference between the script you want to run and the changes you want to make? So it's a very broad question. Like what do you mean? Like if you have one
Yeah.
environment, script is amazing. It can be easily modified. You can use the AI to modify it even if you don't know which of the variables you need to change. But again, it's a very broad question.
Yeah.
So just use the AI and ask him.
Absolutely. I see Davis here has a question just in terms of a general, like a Terra question. Guys, if there's any other questions that you have maybe that are not relating to scripting, feel free to write to our support team. I saw Davis's question is specifically about something to do with the Atera agent, not showing updates all the time. So feel free to check with our support team. Maybe there's something they need to investigate, or maybe there's just a configuration that we need to set. But before we end off, because I think we're all done with the questions, at least from my side, David says it was script based. Thank you. Okay, great. So let's see, Avi, maybe we can take a look at this question. Oh, why didn't it share the way I wanted it to? I don't know if you have any insight here. Otherwise, we'll get our support team as well to investigate. I'm sure some of you on this session have had interactions with our support team, and I will say they do a really good job. So if you need anything else additionally from this side of things, feel free to reach out to them. But Avi, maybe you have an answer here. Hold on. Why is this still sharing? Can you see the... Oh, it went. Davis's question. Let me know if you can see it. Often seeing unable to reach agent on the recent processes report for updates. Is there a way to improve communication between Atera and the end user computer? And Davis says it was after running the script, you get the unable to reach agent, see the recent processes report error. Okay, got you. And it's happening often. Sounds like to me that's something our support team will likely need to investigate. I don't know if Avi, if you have anything else you want to add to that.
No, it sounds like something the support needs to
Perfect.
solve. Sounds like an issue with a very specific issue.
Yeah. So Dave, feel free to reach out to our support team. I'm sure they'll be able to assist you there. And I just want to check everyone was able to, you can just give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you were able to answer the survey. We still have a lot of you on the line, and I would just love to get your feedback on today's session. Amazing. Igor, we have Toda, which means thank you in Hebrew. As you all know, we're based in Tel Aviv, so appreciate that. Just want to check you guys were able to, yeah, great. You could do the survey, fantastic. So while we're just wrapping up, I just want to say, firstly, a big thank you to all of you for joining us today. I know how busy you guys are, and you've carved out almost an hour of your time to be here with us. And we love spending time with you. A lot of you are series regulars, so thanks for coming back and for being part of our AIT community. And for also those who are new, for being part of the Atera community in general. I just want to also say a special thank you to Paz and Gareth, as well as Avi. Avi is, like I said, our head of IT here, and he's also carved out a lot of time to be a part of this webinar. So thank you so much, Avi, for giving your first-hand valuable insight. And thank you to all of you for joining. I don't think there's any other questions. So with that, we can end off today's session, and we look forward to seeing you next month. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Bye for now.
Bye bye.